Hey, everybody. Welcome to August, What's New in Digital at No Typical Moments. And today we're going to be speaking with a very special person at No Typical Moments. Her name is Kris Palouda. She has a very extensive marketing, technology, entrepreneurial background. And before we get into our three areas of focus, I'm going to let Kris give a little background and bio of herself so you can see how amazing and awesome she is. And we'll dive right in.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Andrew. See, I've spent the last 20 plus years in online marketing, and really from the point where it was just coming to fruition, helped co-found a company that created tracking for digital marketing and offline marketing that drove to the web. And then most recently, I've been working on looking at the strategy for a lot of our different clients and making sure that the flow's right. If I see any places that the benchmarks aren't meeting up with where we want them to go, I know that that's an area we have to delve into, and helping clients delve into those areas and really tighten up their campaigns.
Awesome. So I'm very interested to dive into these 3 points, and I think it's very relevant to stay on top of these trends because of iOS 14 and craziness that's happening right now in the digital space. And we just experienced this in the last month on a lot of client accounts here at No Typical Moments. But without further ado, Kris, let's hear the first point of what's new in digital this month.
Well, one of the things that I'm loving right now is we have the writing AI. A couple sites that offer that are snazzy.ai and writesonic.com. And I love these because, writing is such a focal point for any funnel, right? Whether it comes down to the headlines of the ads, whether it comes to the all of the content on the landing pages, the email follow-up sequences, all of those things really need to have good writing to have good conversions. And with some of these tools, it's easier and faster than ever to come up with things to test. I think, as I come from the school of direct marketing, so testing has always been my mantra. Really understanding what resonates at that time with that target audience is best done by testing. So these tools really help us look at different approaches to how we're writing different things and give us stuff to test, which is huge.
So are we able to test copy on not only ad campaigns, but are they also writing email sequences, landing pages, sales pages too? Is it become that advanced?
It's become that advanced, and it's amazing how you can put in some just rough ideas, and what it spits back, it gives you so many different options that you're looking at very usable stuff, or stuff that doesn't, it'll still need some editing, and you have to have a good eye to pull what's good to test from that. But I cannot believe the quality that is coming out of some of these tools.
When I first heard that, I was my mind immediately went to the episode of The Office when Dwight is competing against the robot sales rep, if you're familiar with The Office in that episode. So let's hear from a practical standpoint how this works. So I'm a business owner, I'm a CMO, and I'm trying to spice up my copy for a Facebook ad campaign. How does it spit out that copy? Do you need to show it the product? Do you need to have some sample copy and it tweaks it? What is that AI process like?
So you go to the web page and you give it some, depending on which one you're using, but you give it some parameters of how long the ultimate copy is. And then you can throw in bullet points, rough thoughts. Like, it doesn't have to be well done at all. It doesn't even have to flow. And it'll take those rough thoughts and it'll give you lists. So let's say you're just doing headlines, because that's an easy one. So maybe you'll just put in a couple words and it will spit out like a list of 50 different options that have, the right kind of adjectives. You read through them and you start to look at it from your customer's viewpoint, which I think is something as marketers we have to remind ourselves all the time. I am not the target market. You have to get yourself into that frame of reference as the target market. And then you're reading through something you didn't actually write, which makes it much easier to look at that with the right lens. And you look through there and you're like, oh, let's say, that the target market for this is a a 30-year-old guy, which obviously I'm not, but now I'm looking at those and I'm like, oh, this sounds like something for a 30-year-old guy. And because you have all the options, it just gives you more ability to do that. And then you can even take the ones you like the best, throw it in again, and it'll give you other alternatives to that. So you're iterating and getting better and better content each go.
Amazing. What is number 2?
I am loving the different video creation tools. So one of the things that for ads and landing pages that we see, video ads are almost always winning over static ads. And on a landing page, if you have a well-compressed video, obviously too long of a video slows down the load time. You don't want that. But if you have a well-compressed video on that landing page, we're seeing some good results with that too. So the tools that are making those easier, like Lumen 5, Canva now has video editing areas. So it has just some great ideas, great elements. You can easily grab the footage, and a lot of it doesn't look stock. And then promo.com. Those are 3 tools that are really great for having some high quality video without a ton of cost, which is nice. And even I use them all the time, even when I'm having someone do custom video, I use them to build that sample. Like, here's what I want from your team. I want like a video that looks kind of like this, but with your team. And, some content that looks like this, where you've got, 4 words showing that amazing benefit for the customer. So even if you're not using them for your video, they're great tools to build for direction for whoever's creating your content.
I want to dive deeper into video and why it's performing better than static images. Why is it performing better?
Well, for one, usually people are scrolling through and motion catches your attention more than the still. And I think that's one thing we see repeatedly, test after test, is just if you're capturing the audience's attention, then that's your first barrier, because if they're apathetic, they're just going to keep scrolling by. The next thing is, we keep seeing studies on the attention span, and the attention span of a human is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So if they see a big block of text and just a static image, often that is something that they're not really willing to invest the time into reading that text at that point. But if you have an image and then it goes to like 4 words that are important, that capture their attention enough to read everything around it, that's another reason that we're really seeing that the video has strength against static images.
Awesome. What is number 3?
I was going back and forth on this because there's 2 that I really love. But what I came to is it's a strategy that I've been seeing working lately for different clients. So people don't like to miss a sale. This happens all the time. So a lot of people in funnels would do a cart reopen, but then people wouldn't necessarily feel great about doing cart reopen sequences. However, they work really well. So one thing that I've been seeing a lot is that people setting up a waiting list. So it's like, for whatever reason, this cart was closed. It had a deadline, so it's actually closed. But then it's, whether it's we're going to do another version of this or get on our wait list in case anyone drops out, that type of exclusivity to be on the wait list, and then reopening at a later point just to the people on the wait list. So you're consistent with your message that was closed and that was the date. You're teaching people that when you say something's going to end, it is going to end, which is great, because you don't want to have to keep extending cards and keep opening them up. So if
real
you're teaching,
scarcity.
Yeah. So you're providing real scarcity. And then when you do something just to that list that was on the wait list, there's an exclusivity factor that is huge. And I mean, I think if we look back to even when Facebook started up, it was like you had to be invited. Someone had to invite you. There's exclusivity that has been used over time. And the tests on exclusivity as a factor always do well.
Like with Clubhouse a few months ago, I was getting requests to join or private invites. It felt like every single day for a while.
Yes. Yeah. and alignable. There's a couple that do that, you know, exclusivity is good. People want to be invited. They want to feel like they're part of something that not everyone can be a part of. So I think it's a great way to take people who waited to the last minute or didn't have enough money or weren't quite ready or whatever it is, and then it gives you a reason to market appropriately to them. And then if you decide to open back up, you can do it a little bit different, so it's still ethical, but you're still getting all of the advantage of a cart reopen type sequence.
Perfect. Well, Kris, thank you for your time today.
Oh, no problem. I enjoyed talking with you.